Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Where in the world would we rather be than right here today on Unscripted on USA Global TV and Radio, right, Roland?
Absolutely, my favorite show. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to see you again.
Hello, Roland. Great to see you as well. And you are 6 hours ahead of me. Where in the world are you today?
At the moment, I'm in Austria, a small country in the middle of Europe.
Okay, I like Austria. Very nice. So we've got an entire 40 minutes to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. So where would you like to go with this today?
Yeah, I would love to talk about the plane is having no plane, because I love the show. We start, have no idea what we're talking about. And actually, I saw from our dear friend and colleague Al Cini a post on social media said, he has no idea what is going on or something like that. So I loved it. I think, I don't know how you are. Are you very structured, or do you love to have no plan sometimes?
That is a loaded question, because I am so structured, but then I'm not. And what I mean by that is because I live alone, because I run my own business, I pretty much do whatever it is I want to do, but I have a structure to it. So every day I'm going to work out. Like yesterday, I took the day off because my body was literally crying, and I don't want to hurt myself. So I took the day off, but I was productive from morning till night, but I didn't know what I was going to be doing when I woke up. And today I have a few things I'm doing, but I could change it if I wanted to. So I'm not sure where to go with that. I'm still no sugar, no alcohol. It's 141 days right now. So that's very structured. I don't plan on changing that. So I guess I'm structured, but I'm not. How about you?
100%. Most people who observe me from outside believe I'm just have a free lifestyle. I'm traveling around, working on the most beautiful spots in Europe. But what they don't see, I'm also very structured, 100%. I love to have no plan in the sense that I don't know where I am tomorrow. Meaning, I don't know where I park my motorhome tomorrow. So I'm just free traveling around. But the day itself, how I go to sleep, what I eat, when I eat, my business, of course, I'm very structured, 100%. Yeah. And I think it's so important, especially when you're on the road or traveling all the time. Otherwise, you get lost.
That's very true. And I want to say, in reference to what you just shared, if a person's not structured, I don't know how you can be as productive, because just sort of flying by the seat of your pants and winging it and seeing what's going to happen, I don't subscribe to that. In fact, I've been told many times over the last number of decades, not in the last 5 years or so, why don't you be more spontaneous? And I was very spontaneous. I would just make quick decisions. They could be personal, just buying something, going somewhere, and not really thinking of the ramifications. And as I've gotten older, all of that has changed. It's kind of interesting. I was just sharing with someone earlier today that I have some handbags that are logos. They have logos on them. Everyone knows what it is. I have no interest in them. I don't want them. I'm going to be selling them because they no longer are part of who I am. So my point being that I've evolved so that I am very structured, but it's a structure that I create. It is not superimposed by anyone or anything.
Oh, that makes absolute sense. I was about to add that, some people say to me, I don't want to be structured in the sense of I don't feel free. I don't want to be free, flow around what I feel. But I strongly believe that being structured and being free is not opposite. I think to be free and to live freedom, you have to be structured. That's my opinion. Because otherwise you get lost, you're not free, you're just, I don't know, hanging around, but not going somewhere.
It's true. And, many times you have said something that I really appreciate, which is you can go wherever you want. A person can go anywhere they want in the world, but you will always take your issues, your challenges, your opportunities with you. And I've seen this where people say, I got to get away. I've got to get away. I've got to get away. Then they get away and it takes a certain number of days for them to unwind. Then they finally unwind and then they need a vacation from the vacation. And if you think about it, the way that you live your life and the way that I live my life, it's almost like every day is a vacation because mentally we're at a place where we have created a lifestyle that is not only structured, but it's also very freeing. Whereas other people feel trapped in their life and getting away is supposed to be the solution, but it's not.
No, 100%, 100%. When I see people, of close friends of mine, very good friends, I'm not judging, but who run a normal 9 to 5 job, in business, a 9 to 5 job, they're structured because they're working from 9 to 5. But the rest of the day, I don't see any structure with them. They're just hanging around doing this and doing that, having different bedtimes, having different meal times and whatever. And when I spend a day with them, they drive me crazy.
Well, I think you're really hitting on something, which is being intentional. And I'll give an example. You are not a TV person. I'm not a TV person. But if I decide I'm going to watch something that is streaming, it's very intentional. I'm watching for a reason and I'm watching for a specific amount of time. Whereas other people might just be sitting in front of a television and they're just numbing out. And people are numbing out on substances, on time, in relationships, and you can't get that time back. And it's not a lecture, it's not a judgment. But if you think about, on average, anybody out there today, how much time you spend trying to get away from whatever it is that you're going through instead of hitting it head on, you'll realize that that time is probably wasted, even though it's precious, and you can't get it back.
100%. 100%. What I learned over the years is, Dr. Jacalyn, that whatever I'm doing or not doing, I'm asking before I decide to do something or not to do something, because both is a decision, and has an impact, is what I learned is, does it bring me closer to my goals? And sometimes really relaxing brings me closer to my goals, of course, because I have to recover. Yeah, I have to recover, take care of myself. Yes, but it's always, does it bring me closer to my goals? Yes or not? If not, I leave it. I just leave it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It does. So we're not judging other people. We're not telling people what to do. We're just having a conversation. If you're joining us, welcome. Our show is unscripted and we have no topics. So who knows where we're going to go from here. But Roland, given what we are talking about right now, what would you say are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned by living a life that's out of the box? And what does that mean?
The largest lesson I learned, first of all, when I decided to go this way, I decided to go alone. So my kids are raised, they're living online. I decided to go by myself, and I'm not a Buddhist, but in Buddhism we have 4 stages of life. When you're young, you go to school, you're your pupil, then you build up something, business, then you have a family, and then when everything is done, then I wouldn't say you go away from the material world, but then you go in a forest or in a monastery, and you being by yourself for a certain of time. And I'm in my end 50s, I decided to go by myself, and it was a great lesson for me. Being not lonely, but being alone. This was one of the greatest lessons. And secondly, we can go dive deep in this if you want. And the second list was, whatever when you choose a lifestyle like this, there's no boss. There's no boss in business. There is no boss at home. For the man, there's no wife at home. Yeah, it's all about self-responsibility. Yeah, you have to take care of it. You cannot complain. You blame anyone because you make decisions to do something or not to do something, and that's my biggest lessons is being alone is very, very important for a person. Because it brings you closer to what is your purpose, what is your meaning in life, what you really want in life, and it also has a very positive impact on a relationship. Like I'm having a partner now, so it has a very positive impact on my relationship. And the other thing is also, when you take self-responsibility, because you live a life like this, nobody's telling you get up out of the bed, go to the office, start working, or taking care of your health, or whatever. Yeah. It also has a very positive impact on all areas in life, like in business, like in relationships. So that's my biggest learning: self-responsibility and learning to be alone without feeling lonely. Meaning, not always try to be distracted, whatever distracts you.
Exactly. Not trying to be somewhere else because you don't want to actually experience what it's like to be alone. I was reading on Instagram, there's always these fitness experts telling you to do this and do that, medical doctors. And one of the 7 things that is really has an impact on longevity, according to this expert, not according to me, is loneliness. That loneliness is a horrible thing to experience because it's so isolating. And for me, I'm alone, but I don't feel lonely at all. I am very capable of entertaining myself. I'm very interested in learning. And that's how I typically spend my time, learning new things. And I've had people say to me, don't you ever just want to sit and stare at the sky? I mean, if I wanted to, I could. I can do whatever it is I want to do, which is the beautiful point of having your own business and being self-sustainable. But at the same time, I feel that having this time, I'm able to create a lot of things that I wouldn't be able to create if I were spending time thinking about, oh, I wish I met somebody. Oh, I wish I was in a relationship with someone, because I actually don't. I'd have to change so much of my life in order to be with someone. And I'm not really interested in doing that. So the point I'm trying to make is that I'm very happy with where I am. You are very happy with where you are. And I wish more people could be happy in their own skin, just doing whatever it is that is authentic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think happiness is something that I think is a decision. First of all, I think happiness is a decision. I am happy, yes or not, whatever the circumstances are. I learned this when I was traveling the world years ago, in the poorest countries in the world, and this persons are just happy. Yeah, because they decide to be happy because the circumstances are like they are. And they always told that it was a learning, and they told me if I would be in anger or in fear or jealous, if it would help me, I would do so, but it doesn't help me. So I'm happy. I'm happy. That's one thing. And the other thing is, was what you mentioned is, I was 4 years single, and I really loved it. I wouldn't say the best time of my life, wouldn't say that, but it was the best learning of my life. Okay, the best learning of my life. I'm a family guy, but it was the best learning. And I was thinking about staying alone, meaning as a single or not, because I absolutely had joy the last 4 years in traveling around, doing my business and stuff like that. And I made a decision. I said, yes, I want a partner, but only when I can keep my lifestyle. When there is somebody who prefers the same lifestyle, loves the same lifestyle, gives me the freedom to do whatever I want, and the other person does the same, and then it's working. But it's very, very difficult, because what I very often see, and I also experience this in my life, that when people come together, there are so many expectations that the other person has to make me happy, but it's never working. So I think when we talk about happiness, it's also important that we find happiness in ourselves and without a partner, and then coming together if there's space, or if we want it or not. So happiness is a decision. And being alone, as you said, Dr. Jacalyn, is not being lonely. 100% not. There's so much opportunities in being by ourselves. 100%. I love it. And
It's very true.
most successful people go for a while, sometimes for a week or for a month or a year, being by themselves. It's also important.
I completely agree with you. And I think the other thing is we'll hear people talk about success in terms of how much money do you have? How many properties do you own? Do you have any debt? How much debt do you have? But very rarely do we hear people say, how happy are you? That's really what it's about. It's about how happy are you? And I want to just share this. On Wednesday of last week, I was going in for a colonoscopy. I just had one in March, and I am on the watch list for colon cancer. And so I was sitting there in the hospital. The doctor, it was a new doctor, they called in a specialist, and he introduced himself and he was talking to me. And then he said, they're going to be taking you back soon. And so before they gave me the anesthesia, before they wheeled me into the room, I thought to myself, these are the last moments before I have information. After this procedure, I will have information that I do or I do not. And so what am I going to do right now? How am I going to set myself up to win, to find happiness, regardless of what that information is? And it's kind of a moment, it's hard to describe, but you're there in the hospital and they've got the I guess it's the IV, it's the fluids that are going into, all the beeping and people are going around and you're just sitting there. And I thought, you know what? I have a really great life. And whatever it is that I find out, I will do the best that I can with that information so that I can continue to be as happy as I am. I didn't think, oh, I got to make more money. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I wasn't angry. I just thought I am very grateful for what I have, and I will accept what is coming, and I will make the best of it. And thank God the answer was that I am in great condition and I don't have to come back for a year. But it's that moment that maybe if we don't have to have a situation like that, but a situation where you actually sit and look at your life and say, okay, today, whatever the day is that you're watching this, how happy am I? I know things are going to come. There are going to be challenges, obstacles, but how grateful am I? And take that and carry it forward instead of all the what if and all the anger. And I just unfollowed a few people on Facebook who probably won't be happy to hear that, but their posts are all negative. I don't want to be part of it. I just think, let's be happy. Let's be grateful. Do you think that's too simplistic?
No, not at all, Dr. Jacalyn. Sorry, I wasn't that's what I learned when I was traveling, and what I mentioned before, that the people in some region, they don't have much material stuff, but they're happy. And what I learned is because they focus on what they have instead of what we don't have. This doesn't mean that you don't set goals, but when you always focus on things you don't have, I want more, I want more, I want more. When you always focus on this, I think this is not working. And that's what you mentioned, being grateful what you have. And that's what I do every morning. Before I get out of bed, it's a kind of meditation, or I always say the shortest prayer is just saying thank you. It's being grateful. And when I go to bed, it's the last thing I do in bed is being grateful. And focus on things that I have and that I can try, these little moments, or my health, or my friends, or my family, or I'm here this motorhome, or this amazing spot I'm standing, or whatever it is, just being grateful. But this doesn't, again, but it doesn't mean that I'm not setting goals. But I'm setting goals because I want to improve. I want to be the best version of myself and serve other people. And it's not about, I need a larger car or a larger motorhome or whatever. And I think that's a difference between our society, that we always think in gaps and what we're missing and in lacks, instead of focus on what we already have.
It's very true. And I think what I've also found is, as I'm aging, I'm very grateful to still be here and still be highly productive. I don't need as much as I thought I needed when I was younger. And I am just at the point of looking at things. I mentioned logo merchandise. I have beautiful high heels. I don't feel like wearing them anymore. And part of the reason is I'm not trying to be sexy and walk into a room and get acknowledged. I'm usually standing here in slippers or bare feet. But I don't want to have to worry about breaking a hip, about tripping and falling. So I just alleviate those shoes. I don't need them anymore. They don't serve me, but they were a big part of my life for a long time. It was like putting on an outfit and becoming someone else. And now I am that someone else. And it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It's kind of like I've worked so hard to get to where I am, and where I am is exactly where I want to be.
100%. And I guess we have to distinguish between what supports our happiness and what supports our convenience. And I actually last week I followed a guy. From Switzerland, Dr. Daniele Ganser. He's traveling around the German-speaking countries and doing lectures. He's talking about peace and all this stuff. And he's a historian. And he said, the interesting. He had a talk about happiness. I said, we historians, we believed 100 years ago, because 100 years or 150 years ago, maybe the king or the emperor had a little bit of better lifestyle than the rest of the people, but he also didn't have water, toilet, stuff like that. It came later. And the idea was, when we bring more convenience to the people, that everyone has a toilet, everyone has a fridge, everyone has a dishwasher, everyone has whatever can afford electricity, everyone can heat their house. When we have this, everyone is happy. But the point is, in the Western society, it didn't work a lot. It has no impact on happiness. It's convenient, of course. And I also love a warm home. I love electricity. I love all this convenient stuff. But I guess what you want to tell is that our happiness is not depending on our material stuff, which makes our life maybe more joyful or more convenient. Because some people said, Roland, yeah, but you don't like material things. Say, yes, I love them. Or I wouldn't say I love them. I like them. It makes life easier. But my happiness is not depending on them. And I think that's a point I want to make.
I think that's a great point. And I think a segue from that is, if anyone who is watching or listening has ever gone someplace, let's say it's luxury, it's upscale, it's an event, it's something that you dreamed of going to, and then you get there and you're like, I don't know what all the hype was. It's not that great. It's not that special. You could go on a vacation to a 5-star resort, and if you are mentally not in the right place, it doesn't matter what all the amenities are. It doesn't matter that the sun's in the sky. You might be miserable in your heart. And so we carry that with us. And I feel, just from various conversations I've had with people and coaching, that people are looking for the next thing that's going to bring them happiness. When I do this, when I get that. But that's not how it works. It starts with you right now living in that state of being and that state of mind. Because if we're always chasing something, we're never going to experience what we actually have and appreciate it.
100%. And I think that what I also learned in my life the last decades is that it's not reaching the goal that is satisfying. It's the way. It's the journey. It's the journey that's satisfying.
That's
when you meet people, events, you learn, you improve, you get better, you get feedback, or you fail sometimes, you stand up again, but it's the journey and not reaching the goal.
It's very true. And I think I might have mentioned this to you, but you and we're both authors. Of course, I'm not mentioning that. But when I was attending a function and I was on a panel recently, a question came from someone in the audience, and the person asked, I've just written a book and I've used AI to write the whole thing. And it was kind of, looked at him, and I said, and he said, well, I'm really excited that I'm an author. And I said, but you're not actually an author, are you? Because you're putting your name on something that you didn't do, and you didn't experience the journey. So it's not my job to judge you. But what I'm saying is, when you actually write a book, when you go through that process and the editing and the book cover and or the whole thing, there is a process to that. And when you come out the other side and you're holding the finished product, that is the outcome of the journey. But you've missed the whole journey because you let AI do it for you. And he was having a hard time understanding that because he hasn't gone through the journey.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what's reflecting our society. We want quick results. We want to shine, perform, and we forget about the journey and the experience we're making on our journey. And this is what I say is so satisfying and fulfilling.
It's very true. So speaking about being an author, you are an author and you have worked with our dear friend Red O'Loughlin. What was the journey like for you? Because you wanted to write and publish a book, and now you have 2 books, I believe, and I think you're coming out in different languages. But when you finished the first book, what was your feeling about the journey? Was it everything you thought it was going to be? Was it more? Was it totally different?
When I finished my first book, this was actually the business book, but I finished it already 4 years ago, 3.5, almost 4 years ago. I was very proud of myself that I did it, because, I always said, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. I was very proud of it. I sent it to a friend in the US because my first book I published in English. I was writing English because he is a native speaker. I am not a native speaker. So I asked him to read the book, and if the grammar is okay, the wording is okay, and blah, 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 blah. But also if he understands my content, because he has also a business background. Am I clear in what I'm talking about? I was very proud of it, but then something happened. I was too shy or too fearful to publish it, to bring it to the public. Actually, it took me almost 3 years because I think that most people who are creative, they love to be creative, but then they think, okay, when I bring my baby to the world, and then it's, then it's and then it's accepted or not accepted, and this was a process for me. And I said, okay, I do it right now. I'm gonna publish it, and I don't care if people love it or not. It's my baby, and if it's not working, I'm learning from it. I do it better next time. It's working, I do the same stuff like that. It was for me an amazing process to write the book, to finish it. I was very proud to finish it, to be honest, because I didn't use AI or something like that. And I remember when I had my book in my hand physically, it was an amazing feeling. An amazing feeling.
I love that. Yeah, it is, and it never changes, by the way. It's always the same. I know I have my latest book right here, and then I have one, I think this was my second book, and you're in this book, and it's always the same feeling. There is an evolution in the writing, by the way, which I can see from when I first started. But if you miss the journey, you can't actually enjoy the outcome. And I've shared with you that I'm in the Wharton School of Business Chief Strategy Officer program. It started in December, and now we're working on our capstone project. And it could easily be about getting a certificate, but if you don't do the work and you don't take the ride, it's not the same thing. I would feel inauthentic, which brings me to something else. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. And I have no judgment, but it is something that I think about. I have a doctorate. It took me 6 years, $150,000, and people get honorary doctorates. People say, okay, we're going to give you an honorary doctorate for whatever it is. And so I don't judge, because why would I want to stop someone being recognized? But it's not the same. That doctorate, when you putting doctor in front of your name, that is not the same. Just like I'm not a medical doctor. Yeah. I don't pretend to be. A medical doctor has a different level of training. So it's about going through the experience to earn whatever it is. Would you agree?
100%. It's about blood, sweat, and tears. There's no pain, no gain. I think for our self-esteem, because we know it. And it's the same with people who win in the lottery millions, and then they're not happy that they waste all the money, because inside they know, I didn't do anything for it. Just by luck, I won the lottery, and it's not good for your self-esteem. And hopefully she's not watching. I have a cousin. She's a very lovely person, and she was together with a guy who was in a certain business field. I wouldn't mention, it was not very legal, let's call it that, but he made a hell of money, and he had a huge house. And when you went in, it was a little bit, with these pillars and lions and stuff like that. And then you had stairways on the left and stairways on the right, a huge house. And on the stairway, when you walk up on both sides, I don't know how many certificates he had from universities all over the world. I never heard about it, but he had an honored doctor degree to push his self-esteem. And sometimes people need this to push self-esteem. But what I wanted to mention when you said, okay, when about the journey, I remember in 2011, I was on a pilgrim walking 820 kilometers. It's about 500 miles walking. It took me 28 days walking with my dog from France to Spain, Santiago de Compostela. It's a Christian Catholic pilgrim, very famous to Santiago de Compostela. And I was walking there, and it was a tough walk. But anyway, and I remember my partner at the time, she came before I finished, and a friend of mine was with me, and I said, okay, then together, and he brought his girlfriend in. I said, we walk hand in hand together through the so-called finish line when we came to the plaza where this big church is, the Iglesias. And my partner at the time, she said, no, I'm not coming with you, because I was not on the journey. I don't have the same emotions. I didn't make all the experiences on the way. I didn't meet the people. I didn't see whatever to see. I'll wait you when you finish, and then we meet in a restaurant. And I said, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I love that.
Yeah,
I really honor and respect that. That's really insightful.
100%. And the other guy who was with me, he said, no, let's do it together. I said, yeah, but it's not the same achievement, it's not.
No, it's not. It's almost. But congratulations on doing that. Is that the what is it called again? Something of Santiago?
Camino de Santiago.
Yeah, Red and his wife did that also.
Yeah, I know. He always makes some certain parts. Yeah,
exactly. I think when you think about running a marathon, one of the things that I find, I've never run a marathon, but one of the things that I find that's so moving is you'll see people at the end and they're crawling, or maybe they have really bad leg cramps. I've seen this a few times, and people are helping them, and they've got to cross that finish line because they made the entire journey, the entire trek. And it's kind of like, no, I need this. Like I emotionally need this to say, you know what? I've crossed over to complete this marathon. And I think just imagining that, if you can picture that in your mind, it's so powerful. And I think that is part of what people are not taking hold of, is that we're in such a rush for things to happen. If you're running 26 miles, every single mile makes a difference. Right. And as you're running, you may feel empowered, you may feel exhausted, you may start crying, but every mile you probably will remember. And it's the same thing about making major changes in life. I'm not eating sugar and not drinking alcohol. As I mentioned, day 141. And sometimes I just look and go, I don't see what the difference is. But when I was in that hospital waiting for those results, and that doctor came back and said, your insides look amazing. That was the first time in 35 years that I got a clean bill of health like that. And we'll see you in a year instead of 2 or 3 months. There was the difference. That was me crossing over that milestone for the marathon. So if we're open to it, we will see these things, but we have to realize they don't come always the way we want them to come. It might not be on the scale. We're so tied to certain metrics, but yet if we're open to it, it may come to us in different ways.
Yeah, 100%, Dr. Jacalyn, 100%. You will get good results, because all the inflammations are going down without sugar and alcohol. So great to hear that. Great to hear that.
I see it in my face and I see it in my neck, although I can see more wrinkles now. That's okay. But the one thing that I do know for sure is I am so clear and I am so able to focus, and I can look back on my life and I can see decisions that I made that probably I wouldn't have made today. And there were a lot of things that happened to me in the past. Some of them are in my books, some of them, that I felt like I dealt with them, But what I really didn't deal with, I dealt with the facts, but I didn't necessarily deal with the pain.
Mhm.
And so I feel like I was able to take that pain and numb it with food or with wine or whatever, because I didn't want to deal with it. And now my eyes are wide open to all of it. And I'm very happy with where I am. I'm happy with my choices.
Very good, very good. I love it. I love it. You know,
Thank you.
actually, I didn't drink I didn't drink for a long time. Well, I was an alcoholic, but when I spent the winter in Italy, I didn't drink for weeks or months. And then I met my partner, and she loves to occasionally to have a drink together. So I started, and now we are separated since I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, or 4 weeks now. So I had no alcohol for 4 weeks, and I feel so good. Unfortunately, yesterday, I don't know what hit me. Maybe my auntie was a little bit too, I don't know. Anyway, I love her. But she, I'm staying with my auntie here, and she's 86. She's a wonderful person. But always when I'm here, she wants me to help her with everything, and she has no idea that I'm working too. I need my time, blah, blah. I'm not in my 20s anymore. But anyway, so I was working like hell the last days in the garden and everything in the fort. So yesterday I was really sitting down. I was tired, and I had a huge ice cream. I had a huge ice cream yesterday, and I was suffering the whole night. I was suffering the whole night with all the sugar bump and such. And I had because I get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm texting my partner, "Good morning, sweetheart," and then she's texting me back because she's same like me. She always gets up early in the morning. So what I really appreciate with her, because it's a pain in my ass. Sorry, with a partner before. I'm an early man, and she was sleeping until 10, 11. Drives me crazy. But anyway, she was texting me back, and she said, "Okay, let's call." I said, what is going on? She said, "I had a headache." I said, "Why do you have a headache?" I said, "I had a huge ice cream yesterday." I said, "You didn't even enjoy it." Yes, I enjoyed it, but the sugar is killing me. The sugar is killing me, and I'm not used anymore to it. So I'm very happy that you're on day 141 without any sugar. Really cool. And I'm today. I said, okay, again, no sugar. I had this ice cream, and occasionally I do it, but it's a 5 to 10 minutes chore for a half day suffering.
I appreciate you sharing that, because your body wasn't used to it. And then all of a sudden you gave it. It's like, no, we don't want this. So I think it's probably trying to tell you, yeah, it's not working out. But it's, for me, I don't have any right to judge anyone about anything. I can just do what works for me. And for me, it's really about taking care of my intestines. That's really important, because it's been such a big part of my life, and I don't want it to be such a big part of my life anymore. I respect it. The intestines do a great job, and we need them. It's not like we can get rid of it. So yeah, sure, you can have operations and whatever, but that's not on my plan. So I hope you start feeling better, and hopefully the ice cream memory is something that will stay with you from a positive, and also from the lesson.
Yeah. Jacalyn, the bad thing about our healthy lifestyle is that we know and experience is every day how amazing we feel with all the stuff. And then we go to alcohol or sugar, and I say, oh my God, what the heck I'm doing here? But most people do it every day. And I think their body is suffering too, but they don't know the difference between suffering and non-suffering, because it's on a daily basis that they're suffering, and they believe that it's normal to be fatigued, to have this brain fog, to have less drive and whatever, and they think it's normal. And I hear it very often from people, who have been obese, and then they start their journey changing their lifestyle, working out and eating differently. And when they lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds, they say, oh my gosh, have I ever knew before how amazing I feel? I would start it earlier. And I think that's the point, that most people never had the chance to feel how it feels when you're fit and healthy.
It's very true. And what I'd like to say about that as we come to the closeout of our show is, unless you change your mindset, a person changes their mindset, when you change your behavior and you have reached an outcome, let's say, and I'm going to give it an example. Let's say you are overweight and you decide to use one of these GLP drugs, you inject it in whatever it is, it happens. You still have to change your choices, because afterwards, and we've seen this, I know Oprah was talking about it at some point, she went off of it and then she gained even more weight. And so it's making a choice to do something or not do something based on a why. And as you always say, Roland, when the why is strong enough, then your behavior will follow. You'll say to yourself, this is why I'm doing this, in case you needed a reminder. But otherwise, sometimes I feel like we punish ourselves by making the choices that we made because we're not happy with the decision we made. So now let's go out and spend all this money on shoes, on bags. Let's overeat. Let's gamble. Let's, whatever the case may be, we pick unhealthy choices to kind of punish us for the actual choice that we made. And if we actually peeled back the onion and saw what was at the foundation of it, then we could possibly get somewhere.
100%. And when we change our mind, as you said, and we whatever we do to go for a shortcut, we know that a shortcut most of the time is not working. But secondly, and then we're closing the show here, is the circle is you miss the journey. When you go for a shortcut, you miss the journey. For example, let's say you're obese and you want to lose weight and feel happy. You miss the journey, the weeks and months, or maybe it takes a year or a year and a half to be fit and healthy again. You miss the journey when you go on a shortcut. And the journey is what makes you happy and what makes you proud, and then you stay with it.
There you go. That's a great way to sum things up. Roland, what is the best way for people to reach out to you? And you're very busy, you're traveling, you've got clients, business. Who do you want to contact you?
First of all, everyone who has a positive mindset and maybe gets lost a little bit and needs someone to support to make a decision, maybe to go on the left side or on the right side on Wednesday and on a cross. Everyone who wants to be a happy, fulfilled life in business or privately, whatever. And the best way is email me, as you see it in the banner. It's office@rolandfriedl.com. Email is the best way. I'm honest, I'm not checking every hour my emails, but at least every 24 to 48 hours. It's like to check.
Yes, you're a man on the road. Very good. Well, we are sharing your website here, which is Roland Friedl, your name, ROLANDFRIEDL.com. And Roland, please tell our audience about the shows that you have here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Well, I had many shows in the past, but we talk about the present, so it's Unscripted once in a while with you, Dr. Jacalyn. I'm very honored to be on your show. Then we do normally on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Central European Time or noon at the East Coast. We do one of my favorite shows. It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, where we talk about our own experiences, how we stay fit and healthy physically and mentally and stuff like that. And then on Tuesday, I run two German-speaking show. They sound similar when you don't speak German, but it's the Macher Talk, it's the doer talk. It's about doing things, it's the Macher Talk. And then it's the Mutmacher Talk, which means in English the encourager talk, to encourage and inspire people, even in sometimes when it seems to be difficult to keep going and follow your purpose in life. So that's all on Tuesday.
All right. Well, thank you for spending your time with us today. I've learned a lot as always. And take care of that headache, hydrate. And we look forward to seeing you again for another episode.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And bye-bye to our audience. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to close out with a message. We are looking for TV show hosts who speak foreign languages. If that's you, we offer training and coaching. So take a look at our video and the way that you can contact us to find out more information. Thank you. People are searching for experts every day. Are they finding you, or are they finding someone else? Every day, professionals are building authority through media. We've already built the platform. USA Global TV and Radio. Over 14,000 shows streamed to over 60 countries. This isn't about becoming famous. It's about leverage, visibility, credibility, opportunity. One interview, one conversation, one show, repurposed into content, connection, and business growth. Most people assume hosting a TV show requires a studio, a production team, and a massive budget. Our television packages begin at $1,500 US per month. Professional production, global distribution, replay visibility, built for voices with something to say. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and if this resonates with you, we should talk. USA Global TV and Radio, all rights reserved. Contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.